Welcome guys, so this is a new playlist on my YouTube channel strictly just for illustration, vector illustration. In this playlist I'll be sharing step-by-step guide on how to become an illustrator using Inkscape. So let's get started. For those that don't know, vector illustration is a method of creating digital artworks, logos, icons, and so on, which are made up of lines, curves, and shapes with position relative to each other. So throughout this playlist, we'll be going through all the things you need to know, the tools you need to master for you to be able to come out with artworks on logos or icon, or create any vector character entirely. So in this video, we'll be starting with shapes. This tutorial will not be so in-depth. If you don't know your way around Inkscape, there's another playlist on my channel titled Scaling Inkscape. It will walk you through on how to navigate to the tools and shapes and all other functions on Inkscape. So this tutorial will just be narrowed down into doing vector illustration using Inkscape. So from your toolbar, you can see some couple of shapes that have been pre-installed on Inkscape. There's a rectangle shape, there's ellipse or arc, and there's the star, and we have 3D boxes. So we'll be going after the one after the other. So this is this rectangle shape. So you can just click and drag to draw to form a rectangle. If you hold down Ctrl and Shift, you get a rectangle or a square with the same aspect ratio. I'll just draw a square or rectangle, and then I'll give it a color. So I'll just select any color from my color palette here, and I've given it a color. So using shapes and vector illustration, there are a lot of things you must be familiar with. In vector illustration, you must be good with the nodes tool. The nodes tool is what helps you to edit shapes. So for my definition of vector illustration, it is a combination of curves, line, nodes, and points to form a digital artwork. So for this tutorial, we need to learn how to use the nodes tool. The nodes tool is what will help you to edit both the nodes and the line on any given shape. So I will just remove the fill of this shape. Just click on this red X button here. I'll leave only the outline so that we can see the nodes when we are editing. Before we can be able to start manipulating this square or rectangle with the nodes tool, we must first convert it into a part. In Inkscape, there are classification of things. A object are just like a predetermined shape. So if you have a rectangle or a sphere or a star, they are basically an object. Image also can be classified an object because you can do much further editing on them. Like this square now, I can only reduce and increase, change color. There's no other further editing that I can do. I can't change it from being a square. That is why it is an object. But for me to do further editing, to change some other things in this square, I have to first convert it into a part. And to do that, I will go to my window bar here and I'll click on part. Then you see object to part, and there's a shortcut there, Shift Ctrl C. So I either come here and click it, or I click on Shift Ctrl C on my keyboard. And for you to know that it is converted into a part, you just click on your nodes tool and you see the individual nodes that form the shape. So this square is formed by 4 lines. This is the line, and the nodes are in between where the lines joins together. So this line and this line is joined here. That is why we have a node here, and we can easily move the node and distort it to form any kind of shape we want. We can do that to any angle and any point. So, and also we can add or delete a node. So once I click on one node and I click on delete on my keyboard, the nodes has been deleted and it's no more a rectangle or a square. It is now a triangle because the line are now 3 instead of 4. And I can also add more nodes, and to add a node, I'll just go to any point and I'll double click, and I have added a node. I can double click on any points to add a node. Okay, so beyond just adding a node and just moving the shape whichever point I want it to, I can also make the shape curved. So to make them curved, I can just click and drag on a point. So once I click and drag, you can see that the object is being curved. And once the object has been curved, you have these two handles here, the left and the right handle. So these handles is what will help you adjust the curve of the shape. You can adjust the curve of the shape from either the left or the right hand side using these two handles. So when you click on this circle part here, you can adjust the curve of only the left side. So you can see when I pull it down, only the left side is being curved downwards, and you can see it form like a kind of flow because the right hand side is being curved upward. So I can also curve the right hand side downward and everything will curve equally, or we decide to raise the right hand side and bring the left hand side down to just make a kind of a flow. So that is another way you can edit the shape. And for this one now, you can see that this shape has been separated by this node, and I can move the node to whichever point I want, but let me just leave it to kind of at the middle. I can also now curve these parts, and to curve, you just click and drag any point and you will make a curve. And also any curve you make, you can adjust the handles either the right hand side or the left hand side of the curve. And there's other things that you can do aside just curving a shape and adding or removing nodes. You can also break a node. For instance, these two lines are being joined by these nodes, and if I don't want those two lines to be joined again, so what I'll do is to break it. And to do that, I'll just click on the node I want to break, and I'll go to my menu bar here, and you'll see this button that says break parts at selected node. So once I click on it, it has been broken into two. You can see it until you zoom in a little bit and you kind of move one. So you can see I've moved one, and you can see that there is a kind of separation between the two. They are no more connected. And I can also delete this one by just clicking on it, and just click on delete on your keyboard. You can see that I've deleted the other nodes and there's no more connection between the two shapes. So you can also join a node back, but eventually you want to rejoin two nodes back. Maybe I want this node to be joined with this node. All I need to do is to click on the node, hold on my shift. Holding down shift helps me to select two or more nodes together, and now I want to connect these two nodes to be one. So I'll hold on my shift and select the other one. I'll come to this other button that says join selected node. So once I click on it, you can see that the nodes have been joined. And you can also the same way you curve a line, you can also make the line to be straight if you don't want them to be curved again. For instance, if I don't need all these curves that are here, I just want them to be straight, I can also do that by I can either highlight all the nodes to select them, or I hold down my shift and click on the nodes individually to select them all. So once I click all of them, you just come to your menu bar here and select this button that says straighten line. So once you select it, the line will become straight. The reason why they are not totally straight if I do Ctrl Z is because there's three nodes, and for a line to be in a perfect straight line, it does require only two nodes, that is the starting point and the ending point. And now there's a three line here, so that means there's one which is at the middle. That means that there's a break in the line. So once I make it straight, you can see that it's not totally straight because of these third nodes. And to do that, I can either delete the third nodes, but you notice that once you delete it, it will form a curve, or you will just re-highlight them again and click on the straight line. That is after you've deleted the third nodes. You will highlight the two nodes and you click on the straight line, so you can see that it is no more curved. And if you don't like the way it is slanted, you want it straight, you just drag it down and your line is straight. We can do the same thing as well for the ellipse stroke arc too. So I'll just draw my ellipse. Again, I'll hold down Ctrl and Shift to get the same aspect ratio. I'll give it an outline and I'll remove the fill. So we have our ellipse. Let me reduce the size a little bit. Now I'll select my nodes tool, or I can use the shortcut N on my keyboard. Again, before we start editing anything from this shape, we have to first of all make sure that it is converted to parts. And to do that, we either go to parts, object to parts. You can see the shortcut Shift, Control and C. Or once you have your nodes tool selected, you just come to this place here that says object to parts, and once you click on it, it is now converted into a part, and you can adjust your individual nodes. And you can see that any nodes you click on, it comes with its own handles, the left and the right side, which you can use to adjust the shape. And just like we did with the square, you can double click to add a node wherever you want, and also you can just click on a node and click on delete on your keyboard to delete a node. The same way, just like we did on the square, we can make a line straight and you can also curve a line. So peradventure we want to make this line straight, all we need to do is to select the two nodes. You can highlight both of them to select them, or once you click on one, hold down your Shift, click on the other one, you have the two nodes selected. And if you want to make it straight, we go over to the menu bar and click on the part that says straighten lines. So once I click on it, you can see that it is straight. And you can also add a node, just like I said. When I straighten it, it affected this part that was a bit curved, but I also want to keep that part, so I'll just do Ctrl Z. So I'll just like double click close to these nodes here, so I'll have another node. So when I straighten this and this, it will not affect this curve that is here. So I'll click on it, hold down my Shift again, click on the other node, and I'll click on straighten lines. So you can see it is now straight and it's not affecting this curve. So I'll do the same thing here, just close to the other node here. I double click to add a node while holding down Shift again. I select the both of them and I'll click on straighten line to make the line straight. So you can see the line is now straight. But I also want the edge to still be curved, so I guess I'll just double click here and just delete this one here, so it's still curved like this. So that's how you can just manipulate a shape using your nodes tool. In vector illustration, the nodes tool is one of the most paramount tools. That's what you can use to edit any shape you want with, to any size you want, and to form any object you want. So that's it about using the nodes tool to edit an ellipse. So you can also do the same thing with your star. Just click and drag. This is a star stroke polygon shape. So once I click and drag, I have a polygon, and you can see from the menu bar here is showing the number of corners, which is the number of sides. Once I click plus, it will be increasing or reducing. I can reduce it down to 5. So once it's down to 5 and the it has no rounded corners, it will still be a polygon. But if you want to draw a star, you have to click on this star icon here. Then when you draw, it will still look like a polygon, but you can increase the spoke ratio and the aspect ratio so that it will be as a star. So let me increase the roundness just like this, and when I select my nodes tool, I click and drag, you can see it's forming back into a star just like this. And when I click on my star tool here, you can see that the roundness is increased, and I can reduce the roundness so that all the point of the star will be pointed, just like we did for the square and the circle. Also, to adjust or edit any part of the star, we have to first of all convert it into a part. And to convert it into a part, just like we did, you either go to part, object to parts, or you click on Shift Ctrl C, or once you have your nodes tool selected, you just click on this button here and it's already converted into a part. And just like we did, we can edit whichever part we want. So if I click on delete, I can delete all these parts. Also, you can curve a part by just clicking and dragging. If you want to add another node, you can just double click, you add another node. Also, if you want to make a line straight, you just highlight both of the line you want to make straight. On your menu bar, you click on straighten line, and that's the way you can just edit a shape using the nodes tool. So from what we have done so far, I would like us to just apply them to kind of make an image or an object. So I'll be using all the tools we have talked about with the nodes tool and the shape. We'll try to create an object. So I'll be creating a coffee cup and just a normal teacup. So let me just move this here and let's get started. Okay, we'll start by creating the body of the cup. So I'll just draw a rectangle just like this, then I'll align it to the middle of the page. To do that, we open our alignment menu, or you just click on Shift Ctrl and A. I'll align it to the middle of the page, so it's already aligned. Again, I'll select my nodes tool, and just like we know already, before we make any edit, it must first be converted to a part. So I'll come over here, object to part, it's already converted into a part. So the cup we want to draw is kind of thin in the middle and wide at the top, so I'll just want to reduce it to be thin, just like this. Yes, then at the top it is wide like this, so I also have to click on the node and adjust it. So we're already done with the body. Let me adjust this other part a little. So yeah, we are done. So to make the top, it will be in 2 layers. Let me bring the body down. So to make the top, I'll draw another rectangle on top of this. Then I adjust it not too wide. Adjust it here as well. Then just increase the top a little bit. So I would like to make the edges to be curved. So before I convert it into a part, I can just quickly do that with the nodes tool. So this circle part here, you can see it's different from this 2 square nodes. It's a circle, so it is still an object. That's why we are seeing this circle. So everything here are not nodes. So if I click this circle and drag a bit, you can see that the top has been curved. That is just what I want. So I just want the top to be curved. So once it's done, you can see that everything has been curved, but I just need the top, so I can adjust that with my nodes tool when it's converted into a part. So I'll click on it and click on object to parts. I just need these 2 parts that is curved. These other 2, I don't need them, so I will delete them. I'll click on this node, click on delete, click on this node and click on delete. The reason why I did not delete the rest is because once I do that, the shape will be distorted just like this and it will affect our design. So I'll go to Ctrl Z. So once we have deleted that, you can see it's still curved, but we don't want that part to be curved. We want it to be sharp. So I'll just highlight these 2 nodes, or I click on it, hold my shift, I click on the other one, whichever way. Then I come to the menu bar here and click on straighten line. So we can see that the line is already straightened, but it's slanted. So I can just click on this node and drag it back just like that. So I'll do the same thing here. I'll hold down my shift, click both of them, and then I'll click straighten line. Same thing here, slanted. I just have to drag it. But you can see that once I'm trying to drag it is moving with the top. That's because both of the nodes are selected. That is why they are highlighted blue. But to move it, I just need only one to be selected. So I'll just click this one again. You can see the other one is not showing blue, it's not being highlighted. So that means I have only one selected. Then I will click that one and drag. Just like that. So we are done with one layer for the top. So I would like to do another one at the top. So again, I will insert a rectangle just like this. So I'll take this down a bit. Yeah, so just like we did the first one, I want the top to be curved. But before that, let me just widen it a bit. And to make sure that it's directly at the middle of the page, I'll open my alignment menu and make sure that it's at the middle of the page. Let me align this as well, and also the body. So everything are well aligned at the middle. And if you zoom in here, you can see that this our curve has been affected. So we can adjust that using the nodes tool. Just click on it and you can see these both handles have appeared, the left and right. So I'll just click and drag just like that. You can see it has been fixed. So I'll come over to this our third rectangle at the top here, and again I said I want the top to be curved but not too much, so I'll just drag just like this, and that is okay. So now we want to adjust it. Remember, we'll convert it into a part, then click on object to parts. It has been converted into a part just like we did the other time. I'll delete these two nodes here, and then I'll highlight these two here and click on straighten line. So once it's straightened, I'll just, sorry, I have to select only this one, then I'll just drag it down. I want it to be slanted on top, so I'll just drag it down, and I'll do the same thing here. First of all, highlight these two and straighten it. So once it's been straightened, I'll click on it and then I will drag it back up just like this. So we can see that this part also have been affected, and to adjust it, I'll just zoom in, click on it, click on this node, and then I'll drag the handle up a bit so you can see it has been smoothened now. So just like that, we have just made a coffee cup. So the coffee cup is looking too long, so I'll just highlight this top and take it down a bit. Then I'll bring the body down also a bit. Just like that. So I can also highlight it and increase the outline so it will come out well. I'll open the stroke paint, under stroke style, I'll highlight it and increase the outline. I think this is better. So once you are done, you can just highlight everything and group it. So we are basically drawn a coffee cup. So let's see if we can also do a teacup. Let me delete these ones here, and let's try another one. So for the next cup, I'll be using the ellipse or the arc tool. So I'll just click on it and then I'll do an ellipse shape. Also, I'll give it a black outline and remove the fill color. Let me reduce it a bit and then align it also at the middle. It's always good working from the middle of the page so that you can easily align your design well. So also I'll convert this into a part. Click on my nodes tool and click object to part, so it's being converted into a part. So now I can edit the shape. So I want to delete this top part. So just like we learned, we can break a line. So I want to break it from this point here. So I'll just click on it and come to this menu bar, select this one that says break part at selected nodes. So I've broken it down there. I'll do the same thing to the other side here, and then I'll break it. So now that it's been broken, I can click here and delete the nodes. It has been deleted. Also I can click and drag the other part here. Let me zoom in. Okay, that's the bottom part, that's the top. So I can click and join the top and delete it. So now we kind of have like a arc. So I can adjust the shape a bit. Let me drag it to the bottom a bit. Okay, so it's looking more like a cup now. So we have done the body, so I want to draw the top. Again, I will draw an ellipse, but this time I'll make it to be like this, just directly at the top of the cup. Again, I'll give it an outline and I'll remove the fill. Let me also align it to the middle. So if you zoom in here, you can see we can move it just like this. You can also adjust it here. Let's bring this one down, or we can add another node here and delete the top one, so it's directly at the top. So we have done the covering. We not necessarily convert it into a node because we don't want to do any more adjustment to it. That's basically what we want for the top. Yeah, so that's done. So I can also add another node to like give it depth, and to do that again I will insert an ellipse. Again, I'll give it an outline and remove the fill. So I'll just drag this, or I can just duplicate this one at the top. That's Ctrl D, and then I move it to the bottom using my arrow key on my keyboard. So I'll move it to the bottom and I can resize it just like this. So for this, I'll select my nodes tool and I'll convert it into a part. Just like we did the other time, we'll break the part at this selected node here. So I'll added a node at the top of this line where I want to break it. So once I click on it, I'll click on the menu bar that says break part at selected node. It has been broken at that part. So I can move it now. I'll just click on delete. Sorry. Select my nodes toolbar, click on delete, select the other node and click on delete. So we have to break it here so that this is where we want it to stop. So I've added a node there. So I'll just keep on deleting this until it has stopped there. So that is it. So I think our cup is already looking good. So we can just finish it up by adding like a handle to it. So to do that, also we can use an ellipse or draw an ellipse, or give it an outline again and remove the fill. So we're just drawing an outline now. So I'll just adjust it here. Let me reduce the size. So we want like an handle, not too big. And then I'll select my nodes tool, object to parts again. Then I can adjust it to look more like a handle. So I'll move this up and then I'll move it just in a form of arc, just like this. So this is okay for the handle, but I don't need this other part. So just like we did, I'll add two nodes here at the top of this line, then I'll delete the others. So to do that, I'll just double click here. I've added a node, click on the node and come here, break part at selected node. Do the same thing for this other part here. Double click on it, break part at selected node. So I can now move from here and start deleting the node. because I don't need that part. So I've deleted the node, and to give our handle depth as well, I'll just duplicate this. That's Ctrl D, and then I'll reduce the size just like this, and then I'll move this closer to the handle. Thing is okay. It's too wide. I can just increase it just like this. Then selecting my nodes tool, I'll adjust it from this edge, go to the top, adjust it as well, and then once I click on this node, I can just play with this handle until I'm okay with it. Okay, so that's basically it. Our cup has an handle now, and it has like a depth, so you can just keep on adjusting and iterating until you are okay with whatever you have. So that is just it for the first class under this vector illustration playlist. So we have seen how we can manipulate shape into forming an object in a form of illustration. So in the next video, we'll be talking about part operation. Now we can use part operation to also form an object. So as we move on in this video under this playlist, we'll be gradually forming an illustration. So we are basically just doing an outline. As we move on, we'll learn how to give it a color, how to give it shadows and highlights, and so on. So I'll see you guys in the next video. If you have any questions on whatsoever we have talked about, you can leave it in the comment section below, and also please like this video and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.